For Higgins.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. The Morrison government is getting on with the job of delivering for the good people of my electorate of Higgins. I'm very grateful for this because I'm passionate about taking care of Higgins. These commitments were formulated in consultation and with the support of my local community. And I'm really pleased about these because the commitments are about keeping Higgins safe, active and healthy. Mr Deputy Speaker, one such project, which is not only going to bust congestion but deliver a much safer intersection, is the removal of the notorious Glenferrie Road level crossing at Kooyong Station in my electorate in Higgins. The Morrison government has committed $260 million into its removal. This project will enable a removal of this level crossing and allow commuters from the southeast of Melbourne faster passage across this busy corridor. Further, Mr Deputy Speaker, our government is firmly committed to providing an integrated solution to the wider Glen Waverley train line, which is why we have also committed funding of $10 million to a business case looking at stations on either side of the Glenferrie Road level crossing, including Madden Grove in Burnley and Taronga Road in Malvern. Mr Deputy Speaker, I've heard from my constituents all about how hard it is for them with this Glenferrie Road crossing and the Taronga Road crossing, and we need an integrated solution, which is why the federal government has stepped in to make a change. This is an important element of why we're doing this is that Vic Roads released a study back in 2013 listing the Glenferrie Road level crossing as one of the 20 high priority level crossings needing to be removed. Now, Mr Deputy Speaker, it is one of the most dangerous and congested level crossing, and it sits on a key arterial corridor for the wider southeastern Melbourne region and sees thousands of vehicles pass through it each day. It is one of the only level crossings left that sees cars, trams, trains and pedestrians all intersect in this one dangerous crossing. And there are around 24 trains in the peak hour period between 7 and 9 a.m. This means that my community sit at boom gates for almost 1/3 of the time of the peak hour in the mornings. Now, I know this because I lived on the street along this train line many years ago, and I also worked in a local medical practice right on the train line. So as a mum with little kids, I used to push my pram across that level crossing and used to see children run across it in front of the level crossing coming down. Very, very dangerous. So I'm delighted that this is something that we have committed to, and we have a business plan that is due to be released in the coming weeks to look at the integrated solution for the whole line, but particularly this important level crossing. As a local doctor, I used to sit there waiting for my patients to arrive, knowing that they were sitting in peak hour traffic at the boom gates, unable to get to the other side in order to get to an appointment. I'm just one of the many local businesses that will be affected or have been affected by these boom gates, and I'm pleased that this is now going to change. I want to thank both the former Minister for Urban Infrastructure, the Honourable Alan Tudge, and the new Federal Minister who's now in the chamber, the Honourable Paul Fletcher, for supporting this important project for my community. This project is part of the Morrison government's commitment to supporting local jobs, businesses and the economy during our post-COVID recovery. Most importantly, it's about helping keep my community safe with real and practical solutions. Now, Mr Deputy Speaker, our government is also getting on with the job of delivering safer community spaces, which is why we've committed $100,000 towards the installation of a new pathway lighting along the popular Rosanna Street Reserve in my electorate in Higgins. This is in the part of the electorate called Carnegie. This shared path forms part of the Rosstown Rail Trail, east-west commuter path, and the new lighting will be both solar and LED powered, and I'm very pleased about that because Higgins and I care deeply about a sustainable future. So it's responding to the City of Glen Eira's environmental sustainability strategy, and I'm very pleased that we're partnering with our local council with this important project. People in my electorate are now getting out and enjoying their community recreational spaces much more. And we know that Higgins is one of the electorates with the least open spaces. So every single part of my electorate which has an open space, we really need to make sure we make it safe and easy for people to use because it's a very important part of my electorate. So this will help improve connectivity with our local parks and street networks. It'll encourage more walking or active transport, as we like to call it, and I look forward to switching on these new lights in the coming months with our local council in Glen Eira. Now, Mr Deputy Speaker, we're also providing new lighting to be installed in the Riversdale Soccer Club with an $88,000 grant from the federal government to support this wonderful club. Great new sports infrastructure like this will encourage locals in Glen Iris and Ashburton to get involved and stay active in soccer. This funding complements the Morrison government spending on community sports infrastructure, so local communities have the facilities they need to enjoy sport and recreational activities. And of course, in areas of inner city like Higgins, we really do need to make sure that we care and respect for these small spaces to make sure that they're well utilised. Mr Deputy Speaker, the Morrison government is also committed to developing inclusive early intervention programs that will support improving outcomes for vulnerable young families and children in my electorate, like those that attend the Craig Family Centre in Ashburton. I recently visited the centre and met with their board to hear firsthand how federal funding announced at the last election has supported this wonderful organisation to deliver these programs. It was pleasing to hear the funding has been put to good use and that the centre are looking to continue these programs into the future, including group sporting activities, bush play groups and a new garden kitchen project. The Craig Family Centre provides a wonderful community support to those who are really vulnerable in our community, and I really congratulate the wonderful work that they are doing. Mr Deputy Speaker, as I said earlier, Higgins is a very active electorate and we have a passion for both sport and health. And it's about keeping active, whether it was through COVID or now in the post-pandemic. I'm pleased the outdated Murrumbeena Park Pavilion will be getting a major facelift, transforming the local pavilion into an integrated community hub with multi-purpose spaces for local sporting clubs and events. And in fact, Mr Deputy Speaker, just last week, I welcomed the Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Michael McCormack, to Higgins for the ceremonial turning of the first sod to signal the beginning of construction of this long-awaited project. This new hub will be a reality thanks to a contribution of $4 million from the Morrison federal government and will provide a home base to support the growth of local sporting clubs, particularly for female participation, which has seen a welcome explosion in numbers in recent years. The new pavilion will importantly have separate change rooms for both male and female players to ensure young women will have the very best local facilities. But importantly, it also has a world-class changing facility called Changing Places, which is dedicated to the support of those with a disability having change rooms that are fit for purpose. And I really welcome this world-class approach to our local sporting communities, and it's important for those who want to get active but have a disability. Thanks to the City of Glen Ira, including the CEO Rebecca McKenzie, the Mayor Margaret, and a local champion for our Mayor and local champion for our community, Margaret Esikoff, and the local member for Oakley, Steve Demopoulos, for their efforts to bring this project forward, which is being matched by the Victorian State Government to the tune of $2 million. These upgrades will benefit community groups including the Murrumbeena Football Netball Club, the Junior Football Club, the Cricket Club, the Murrumbeena Park Bowls Club and the Oakdale Angling Club. I look forward to seeing construction kick off next month. Now we've done the turning of the sod, and I have to say the Deputy Prime Minister has very good kicking skills. We're kicking a football around the oval with some local kids. He was pretty surprised that I could kick a football, but with brothers and having grown up in Albury locally, I think I can manage that. And when the project is finished in mid-2022, I'm looking forward to be able to watch some great local sporting highlights from the wonderful veranda, or I should say from the decking that's going to be provided in the Murrumbeena Community Hub, so that parents can enjoy watching their kids and young adults getting out there and getting active. Mr Deputy Speaker, our government has also committed $400,000 to the Melbourne Yarra Bike Trail project, and this is being delivered by the City of Stonnington to upgrade a dangerous section of existing pathway along the busy Alexander Avenue in Toorak. The path widening project will see the installation of a barrier protecting cyclists from adjacent traffic and will complete stage 7A of the Yarra River Biodiversity Project. Mr Deputy Speaker, my community are keen cycling enthusiasts, and so am I. And I can't wait to get out there, enjoy with my local community the wonderful Yarra River Bike Trail. It's a wonderful place for people to enjoy getting out and getting active. And this new upgraded pathway means that we can do it in a safer way. Mr Deputy Speaker, I'm also proud of the fact that Higgins cares about staying healthy and that we care about the provision of world-class health care. As a doctor myself, I care about delivering the best quality health care that Australia doesn't just deserve but can expect. And along with that comes the very special Kids Hospice. This is a place that has a very special place in my heart, and they have a very special project, which is one step closer thanks to a $7.5 million federal government commitment to embark on a total new hospice for seriously ill children and their families. This wonderful facility provides 24-hour specialist care with nurses that are trained in complex needs. Very Special Kids is a team of doctors, nurses, carers and professionals who work around the clock to help children in a home away from home at a time when families are dealing with an amazing journey, when their children have life-threatening conditions. And I really want to mark and honour the work that the previous member for Higgins, the Honourable Kelly O'Dwyer, fought valiantly for this funding. And I want to put on record my thanks to her, and of course to the wonderful CEO Michael Waisley for his efforts in providing the plans for this new hospice, which is very close to getting full funding with matching funding from the Victorian State Government and some wonderful philanthropic funding. It will provide an amazing new world-class hospice. It is one of only 2 hospices in the whole of Australia for children, and it was actually, I think, Australia's first hospice, and we must give our thanks to these wonderful people who are doing work. They are the angels who are looking after our very special angels. Mr Deputy Speaker, I'm also pleased that we have a wonderful hospital in my electorate, Cabrini Hospital. It's the only hospital in my electorate. It is a private hospital, not-for-profit hospital, and I was on the board of the Cabrini Hospital. But the federal government has provided a very special funding of $6 million for a new state-of-the-art cancer facility, which will allow researchers and clinicians to work towards life-saving breakthroughs. And as a former director of Cabrini Health, I know the top quality work that this institution does, both with regards to clinical care but also research outcomes. And this will provide better health outcomes for people in the southeast. It's a very needed special research centre, and I'm very proud to be supporting that with federal government commitment. Finally, Mr Deputy Speaker, the young people in Higgins have been doing it tough through COVID. And we know that depression and anxiety and indeed, unfortunately, youth mental health issues, including suicide, are on the rise. So it's so important that we step up and provide committed mental health services, and I'm very proud that there is a $3.5 million commitment to a brand new Headspace facility in Glen Iris in Higgins. This is due to be opened firstly in temporary facilities in September this year, and then to new facilities in going forward. As a mum and paediatrician, I know how valuable these services are, and over the last 12 months, I know that there are many Australians that have been dealing with a pretty tough period of their life. So a local Headspace facility is needed now more than ever. Our government is committed to ensuring young people have the right support services, no matter where they live. Mr Deputy Speaker, my community is benefiting from the significant investments made by the Morrison government. I'm proud to have fought for our community to be safe, active and healthy. These projects support our community to live healthier, to have more active lifestyles and to prepare for the future growth in the inner east of Melbourne. I'm proud to be helping take care of Higgins. Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker.
The question is